All right, let's get practicing in QuickBooks Online. Grab the link below in the description so that you can follow along. All right, here we are in the QBO gym, and the QBO gym is a place where we have numerous exercises that simulate real-life scenarios that you may encounter as a bookkeeper. Every single month, we come out with new exercises for you, and we break it down into 4 different sections. So today we are going to be working in the November cardio section. At the top here is a little animated video to give you a synopsis of what's going on in Craig's world that month. He is our fictitious business owner. Further down is an interactive quiz as it relates to the video up above. And then further down are all of the exercises within this section. So today we are going to practice setting up contractors. You will need to be in the sample company. If you're not sure how to get into the sample company or get your own free QBOA account, go ahead and click on the link below in the description. So our scenario today is that Craig has hired 2 temp workers to help with some of his jobs. He has asked you to enter their time worked, invoice the customers they worked for, and pay the contractors. Craig sent you an email with all their details. So to complete this exercise, we need to grab a copy of that email. It is click on the link, beneath the cardio video to grab that copy, as we'll use it for this exercise. So let's go back to the gym. If you scroll to the top, here's that animated video, and below it says email from Craig. Go ahead and click on that button right now so that it downloads. And then when it downloads for you, you can go ahead and open it up. One moment while my computer is doing a scan. And there it is. Okay, great. So here is the email from Craig. It says, "Hey there, got 2 new contractors started. Here's their info. Please get them set up so that we can get them paid and the invoices sent out. They are getting $25 an hour, but we're billing the clients at $50 an hour." And it gives a little more detail about Keith Jones and Bob Smith and their hours for work. So let's go back to the exercise itself, and we'll work on adding the contractors. So first thing we need to do when hiring a new contractor is to set them up in QBO. Now, QBO provides a tool to add contractors and automatically collect and track their W-9s. While you can use this tool, and it's found under the payroll menu or the expenses menu, many contractors complain that Intuit automatically sets them up with a self-employed account and then markets them to upgrade the QBO subscription. Also, if you pay the contractors through this tool, QBO does charge a fee for it. So for the purposes of this exercise, we're going to add our contractors via the vendors list. And this is a way that you can do it as well in real life. So first thing we want to do is on the left-hand nav bar, we want to hover over expenses and then select vendors. So here we are in the sample company. This is the dashboard. Again, if you hover over expenses, you will see vendors. If you notice right here, here is that contractors as well. So just keep that in mind too, that there is going to be a tab for that. But for right now, we're just going to click on vendors. And this will come up for us. And we need to add a new one. So let's start with Keith Jones to add him first. We're going to click on New Vendor, which is the green button on the top right corner. Click on that and a new vendor card will appear for you. In the display name, we're going to put his name, Keith Jones. So click into it and start typing in, Keith Jones. There we go. Now, in a real life situation, you would need to collect Keith's contact information, but for the purposes of this exercise, we are just going to leave it blank. So we want to scroll down to the additional info section and then click on the track payments for 1099. So scroll down until you get to the additional information. There is this little checkbox. It says track payments for 1099. Go ahead and click on that, and that will now track any all of the payments. It will track it for 1099 purposes for you, which will make life so much easier at the end of the year. So note that in a real life situation, if you were not using QBO to collect the W-9 automatically using that contractors tool that we talked about previously, it would be best practice to attach a copy of Keith's W-9. You would also enter Keith's social security number from the W-9 on this screen. By entering the social security number, QBO can generate the 1099 for you at the end of the year, which will make it so much easier. So here is that social security number that you could add it in that particular box. If we scroll back to the top, there's this notes and attachments section. Here is where you would attach the W-9 so that it is connected to the vendor card. And that way, if you ever need to refer back to it, you know exactly where to get it. So go ahead and click on the green save button for now. And there it is. And now he has been saved as a vendor. And let's move on to the other contractor, Bob Smith. Again, we're going to click on New Vendor. So click on the green New Vendor button. And then we're going to put in his name, which again is Bob Smith. Click into it and type Bob Smith. And again, in real life, if we had the additional information, we would add it all in here, but we're going to skip that for this exercise. All we need to do is just click on the box next to track payments for 1099, which again is in that additional info section. So scroll down until you get to it and then click on the box. And then we simply are going to save this one as well. So click on the green save, and now it has been saved. You can see that he's right there at the top. So because we have marked these two vendors as tracking for 1099, they will show up in that contractors list. So let's take a look at that. We're going to click on the contractors tab. This is the one that I was mentioning before. So click on it there. And when you do, you will see that they have been added. Now you will notice here that this says W-9 missing, which may sound confusing because you attach the W-9. But what this means is that QBO does not have the W-9 for these workers using their internal tool. So even if we have uploaded the W-9 as attachments, as we discussed before, it will still show up as W-9 missing, even though you actually have them on hand. So if you do this in real life, don't let that scare you. This is just because you didn't use the internal tool for QBO's Intuit's internal tool, and so they're not recognizing that the W-9 has been attached to the vendor card. So just wanted to point that out in case you are ever doing this in real life. So now that our new contractors have been added, we need to do some setup for when we use their services and charge the customer. We're going to start by editing our service. So we need to get to the products and services list. To do that, click on the gear icon on the top right of the page and then click on products and services. So up here on the top right corner, click on the gear icon. Under lists, select products and services. And now we are going to scroll down until we find installation and then click the blue edit link. So scroll down a little bit, about halfway through the page. Here is installation. You're going to click on the blue edit link, and then the service information will appear for us. Now, right now, this product is only set up as something we sell to customers, but we can use this same product when we are paying our vendors. So you'll see how to use it in the next section. We're going to scroll down and then check the box that says, I purchased this product service from a vendor. So scroll down, or you actually don't need to scroll down. It's right there. So go ahead and click on that checkbox. When you do, it does expand a little bit for you. Now you'll notice here that we have this one, the I sell and I purchase this product, both checked. Keep in mind that QBO Plus and Advanced have the ability to create a double-sided, which is having both of those checked, a double-sided product and service in this way. For all other subscription levels, you would need to create a separate product service, one that is specifically just for selling and one that is just for purchasing. So we're assuming that this is in the QBO Plus or Advanced subscription level, which is why we could check both of those. But if it's any of the other ones, you have to create one just for selling, and then you can do the exact same thing, but one just for purchasing. So we're going to go on to the next steps before we save, because we need to scroll down and click on the arrow next to the expense field. And we're going to scroll up to find installation. Make sure that you would choose the installation under job expenses and cost of labor shown. So here's that expense account field. Click on the arrow until you find, scroll up, installation right here. It's under job expenses. So it's a sub account actually of cost of labor, which is a sub account of the job expenses. So you want to click on installation here so that it has been selected. And then we are simply going to save and close this. So click on the green save and close button. And now that one has been updated and saved for us. Now let's set up a recurring bill to make it easy to pay our contractors when the time comes. So to get there, we need to click on the gear icon again on the top right corner of the page and then click on recurring transactions. So on the top right corner, click on the gear icon, under lists, select recurring transactions. And right now we only have two that are showing, one for a monthly, a telephone bill, and one for the monthly building lease. They are both showing as bill. However, the telephone bill is set up, even though it's set up as a recurring bill, it's auto drafted each month. So it really should be a recurring expense. We're going to make note of it and come back and fix it later in a future exercise. But for right now, let's create a new recurring contract by a recurring transaction by clicking on the green new button on the top right corner. And when you do that, you will see this appear for you. The transaction type is a bill, which is what we want. So go ahead and click on OK. And more information will show up for you. So in the template name, we're going to call it Contractor Installation. So click into that box and then type in Contractor Installation. I hope I spelled that correctly. Contractor Installation. You can always highlight over this and then copy it and paste it in there if you would like. But yes, I did spell it correctly. Then we are going to move on down to the type. We are going to have this as unscheduled because we're only going to use it as it is needed. It's not a consistent thing. So we are going to only have it as unscheduled. In the vendor name, we're going to click on the down arrow to select Bob Smith. Now we are using Bob Smith as the vendor on the template, but we will change it when we use the template for a different contractor. This way we don't have to have more than one recurring bill for contractor installation. Now note that if Bob and Keith are paid at different rates, then we would want to do separate recurring bills. So the reason that you do this is, let's say you have 20 contractors. Rather, if you're paying all of them the exact same amount, rather than having a recurring bill set up for every single one, having one template and then being able to change that vendor name to whatever the contractor is going to make your life so much easier, because then you're not having to scroll through that list to find a specific person. So setting it up this way is going to make your life a lot easier, especially if you have a lot of contractors and if they're all being paid at the same rate. So let's click on Bob Smith in the vendor field. And that he was right there at the top, which was easy to find. In the item details of the product service field, we are going to click on the down arrow and then select installation. Now make sure that you are using the item details area here so that you can include the hours or the quantity and the rate. You would not be able to do this in the category detail, only the item details area. So note that you may have to click on the down arrow to open it up. So here, if we scroll down, here's the category details. If you just hit this little arrow to collapse it and then open the item details one, this is the one that we would like here. So we need to, in the product service, put installation. So click into it 2 times. Installation happens to be this third one right here, but you can always, of course, start typing it in for it to appear for you. Click on that and then we need to change the rate to $25. If you remember from the email, he said that he is going to be paying the contractors $25 an hour, even though he is billing the clients for double that amount. So for this, you only want to put in what the contractors are going to be paid for. So let's type in the rate field 25. And you can hit the tab key over and you see that it's updated. We're going to leave the quantity field as is because this is just the template. So you can always change it as you are going to be creating a new bill prior to saving. So all we need to do now is just save that template, which is the green button down here. And you will see now it is showing as a recurring transaction, which is great. And that's it. That is how you would set up contractors. And if you have any questions or want to know more about the QBO Gym, just go ahead and click on the link below in the description. Be sure to leave this session of the sample company open as you will need it for the next exercise in the cardio section where we practice time tracking and invoicing. And I will see you in the next video.